selling merchandise at indie shows is more than 8x10s now. From hats to buttons to sunglasses, what's the weirdest thing you've seen a talent sell to fans besides their gear?
Well, and I tried to quit wrestling that way one time by selling my tights, so I would never have another wrestling match. But then I got a chance to do something I wanted to do, and I just used sweatpants. Burger towels. I mean, you got to admit it's off the beaten path as far as wrestling gimmicks go. But it's an interesting subject because you see people sell some odd things. I mean, Hacksaw Duggan actually sells sticks of wood that he signs because of his 2x4. He's not going to sell a whole giant 2x4, but he goes down to Lowe's or to Home Depot, and he'll get a piece of wood that's, and he'll cut it about 2 feet long, and he'll sign it Hacksaw Duggan, because that's his gimmick. He can sell people pieces of wood, and it means something. It's not a question of whether you can just sell somebody some hokey shit make it, well, somebody will buy anything. It's the fact that wrestling is so cool that certain things can be identified with people and they can sell them, and otherwise it would be completely meaningless. You may be the biggest Jerry Lawler fan in the world, but you're not going to buy a block of wood that Jerry Lawler has signed just because Jerry Lawler signed it, because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't fit Lawler. But Hacksaw Duggan can sell a block of wood, or I can sell a burger towel because I've been blessed by the burger gods to be identified with fine culinary dining in the cheeseburger category. It's really, there's been more strange things that I've actually had to sign that people would bring to me than that have been sold or that I've seen sold. I've signed food stamp coupons. I've signed Dairy Queen bags. I signed a girl's right tit one time and put the O in Cornette right around the nipple. I've signed toilet paper for people. Because sometimes anything you say can be, can register with somebody some way, and they want to get something like that to either show their friend or to fucking send somebody as a rib or whatever the fuck. And then I'm sitting here on my desk. On the shelf here is a beautiful mason jar with a great label. It says Beautiful Bobby Eaton's Alabama Jam. It's Slammin' Blueberry. Because Bobby and Ola, oh my God, he's going to be mad if Jeff Tankersley, I believe it was when Bobby was living down in East Tennessee, made some jam one time and sold Bobby Eaton's Alabama Jam. So it just depends.
The weirdest one I've ever seen was a while back. I had to get the Jimmy Valiant book, and do you have the Jimmy Valiant book?
I certainly do.
It's an expensive book. It's a big, expensive book.
Well, but it's thick. It's detailed and thick.
Very much so. So I went to Jimmy Valiant's website. I saw it was like $40 plus $10 shipping. I was like, oh shit, that's
because it's a heavy book. It's heavy reading.
It's heavy. But then I went to Amazon. And I saw it for $40 plus $5 shipping. So I bought it from there, and it turns out the seller was Boogie's Wrestling Camp. So I got it from the same source anyway. But I get the book, and it's autographed, and it's a big book. So, I mean, I haven't read it yet, but it's a big book. But one of the things I get with it, I actually just found this the other day, I have it right here, is I get a couple flyers for things the Boogie Man has. Here are Hall of Famer Handsome Jimmy, the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant t-shirts. Here's Boogie's Wrestling Camp, where you can learn to be a wrestler being trained by the handsome Boogie Man, the fake character, by the handsome Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Man himself, or if you have $175,000 to spend, you could buy Jimmy's house. And that's marked down, by the way, from $199. The special deal for you wrestling fans, $175, and you get this beautiful house, the country home of WWE Hall of Famer Handsome Jimmy, the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant, for sale by owner. In the book, I just bought a book and I
there you go. And I'll tell you what, and he lives. Is it Shawsville, Virginia?
I wasn't about to give the address, but yes, it is.
Well, it's not the address. Everybody knows Boogie's Wrestling Camp's in Shawsville, Virginia, and that is out in God's country out there in western Virginia, and it's beautiful up there, and you get a ton of trees, and $175,000 buy you a lot of space, a lot of house in that part of the country. So the place is probably palatial. If I were you, Brian, I'd check into it just for a place to vacation down south from Last Manor.
I hear there has some problems nature-wise, that there are raccoons, there are some aggressive squirrels, and every now and then when there's a full moon, Big Mama shows up and goes through the garage. So, I'll stay away. But with that,
Felicia was a friend of mine, so I'm not going to go any further.
My favorite thing is when she was selling Jimmy Valiant records on eBay, and Scott Cornish, who collects that stuff, tried to buy them, and she was very nice. She wrote back to him. She goes, "Oh, sure, I'll get back to you. Next time I go to Jimmy's house," apparently she just gets the records from his storeroom. She goes, "Next time I go to Jimmy's house, I'll get you one." And then Scott doesn't hear back for however long a period of time, enough of a period of time where it's reasonable to write again and say, "Hey, just wanted to check in, see what's going on," which he does very kindly because Scott's a nice guy. And she responds, "I don't think you deserve the records." So, Big Mom.
Boogeyman.
Oh, Boogeyman.
At last I've found you. I've looked in bars. I've looked in cars.
I just saw that the other day for the first time in forever.
Well, it only aired once. They left a hole for it in syndication, but when they heard the locker room response to it on the Saturday night TBS show, it never aired again.
Oh, Boogeyman, what's happening? What's going on? Boogeyman Jam 84. That's all she needs to hear. She gets in the car. That's all she needs to hear. But anyway, with that, the drive-thru has closed.
That's all I need to hear.